Well, good evening. I'm Rick Dancer. It is Wednesday night. It's so hard on your computer to figure out where the camera is because I'm so used to looking on my phone and to look up away from everything and the screen. It makes it really complicated. Oh, God. That's what I need. More complication in my life. Oh, my God. How are you guys doing today? What's the news? What's going on? I was going to talk a little teeny bit without getting too much trouble with people. We'll see what happens. Had some thoughts over on Instagram earlier and was talking over there to some folks. And well, hello, Anna. Governor came out with some new, I don't know if they're recommendations or rules, but hello. So as I understand them, no longer 250 people can meet, down to 100. I don't think that's a bad idea. I hope that also, I listened to most of the press conference, but I did have a show to do. So I'm hoping that also takes in some of the protests and stuff too, that they should limit those to 100 as well. Just so that we're all safe. If this is as dangerous as she and her staff seem to think, then I think we should all be involved in that. We should never stop people from speaking their minds, me included, and you. And we should never be able to not disagree with what happens, especially with what our government does. And we can disagree with what she has done. That's highly, we should voice those things. And I know there are people out there that don't think we should, and they want to bully us and tell us that we can't. Well, they don't own the conversation and they don't get to. So anyway, but I would hope that mandate, I don't think it's a mandate. I think I don't know what it is. It's a recommendation. Any recommendations for a good mask that is easy to breathe through while exercising? Casey, I don't know what I'm doing. I've contacted my doctor. And because I don't do well, I have exercise-induced asthma, so I'm going to have to see what I can do to get around that. But that's inside a gym only, and that starts on Friday, I think. So anyway, in terms of the 100 people or less, I'm hoping that also takes into account, because I don't want people who are protesting. Governor, can eat my dick. There you go. Thanks, Jason, for that very calm thing. No physical school for Oregon kids till January, except for online. Little bird told me, not released yet. How do you know? Who's your little bird? Casey, look up sports masks. Okay, so Matt has that. Hey, Matt, how you doing? These special needs kids with the IPS scrambling, IPES. Oh, I didn't think about that with special needs kids. And well, then, oh, there we go. Okay, I see how you feel, Jeff. And is that a fact? Which a fact? That's Ashley. If you're talking about Ashley's comment for kids to January, she says a little bird told her. So I don't know. Ashley, I'm not saying your facts are wrong. I'm just saying that's Ashley saying that. So anyway, some people are talking face shields at the gym. I thought of a funny video to do when I swim with a mask, but that would probably just piss more people off. I did want to say something kind of interesting about something that happened yesterday. I often will post a thing, and then I'll see people just going after it, and I'll just pull it because I get tired of it. And last night I had something on there, and I had told the story of running and having two older people with masks on turn and their back to me. And I thought it was so rude. And I still do, but I felt it was really, really rude. And then a friend of mine, who's we're at odds right now because we completely disagree on the mask thing and other things, the riots and all this kind of stuff, which is really hard right now. A lot of people that I really like and some that I really love and I care about were on very, very different spectrums on this whole thing, and it's really hard. It's driving a wedge between us. And that's kind of sad and it's hard. But anyway, she said something, and she said, Rick, what if they were turning their backs to protect you? In their minds, they're protecting you. And I went, I need to start thinking about other ways of thinking, because I don't want to become the very people that I despise, which is the bullies. I don't want to be a bully. And so I don't want to be on here saying, here's these terrible people being rude to me. when in fact, what if they were trying to protect me? And why not take the high road and look for something better? There's a 4J meeting today. The unions have spoken to not return. It's a 99% most likely plan. So there was a 4J meeting today, and the unions have said they're not going to return until January. Ashley, now that's Ashley's information, and I'm not dissing Ashley. I'm just saying, don't go telling Rick Dancer said this. That was Ashley Hubbard. And I trust her. But swimming with a mask would be like being waterboarded or wearing a condom. Oh, now I'll get people after me for that. Wear a hazmat suit, something outrageous and stupid. Yeah. Never says you have to wear shorts. So why wouldn't the protesting fall under the 100-person gathering? David, it just befuddles me. And on this press conference today, 90% of the people were talking about that and mad. And I think if it was me and I was governor, I would be putting an end to that, because you lose credibility doing that. If you're not sticking up for that, people are incredibly rude when you can't wear a mask, and it encouraging. If I get permission from my doctor, I don't give a shit what people say. If I have a note that says I don't have to wear it to the gym, I'm not wearing it to the gym. And people can talk and bark at me. You know what I figured out? I figured out something kind of, hey, Jacob, I figured out something kind of about me and why this is so bothersome to me. When I was a kid, I was bullied a lot. I was quiet. I was shy. I stayed within myself because I didn't want to be called out. I didn't want people saying bad things about me and stuff like that. And I didn't want to be, bullying was a fear. And so I've overcome that, obviously. And so now when people try to do that to me, oh my God, it just sets me off. And my wife's the same way. It just sets us off. And it's like, it's not your fault if you're a bully, but you come into my territory and you do that, and I will come out swinging, not physically, but verbally every time. Because I am not going to be silenced. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to not voice my opinion because you disagree with me. I wouldn't expect that from you. I expect you to voice your opinion, but don't tell me I can't. And don't subtly tell me I see pages where my name is plastered and people, oh, he's a bias. And they're really tough when your back's turned. And to my face, they don't say a word. Screw you. So if you can't talk to me to my face and you're going to go behind me, you're a puss and you're a bully. And I don't want to deal with you. There's a difference between protests and riots. Exactly, Wendy. Thank you for clarifying that, because I probably said it the wrong way. What's going on in Portland is not a protest. It's a riot and it's vandalism. And I also have a personal hate for vandalism. I think it's so juvenile. You know what I mean? It's like little kids. I hate it. I don't disagree. Well, I don't know. I don't know what their point is. I got lost with me. When you start damaging everything, I don't pay attention anymore. I'm not listening. I'm not listening. When it started off as black in Eugene, as Black Lives, it was not black unity, black, whatever, in Eugene. When Isaiah, I had them on the show. It was, and I was totally going, yeah, we need to make it so that everyone in this country feels like they have the same rights, the same freedom. And I want that to change. So I'm behind that part of it. But now it's turned into, kill the cops, fuck the cops, trashing buildings that I own because I'm a citizen of the United States of America. They're destroying my property and I'm going to have to pay, and so are you, to fix that up. They're not going to pay for it. They've trashed Portland, which is my hometown, and made it look like shit. And then my leaders just sit around and want to blame Donald Trump for doing it. Well, why didn't you take care of it in the first place? And then he probably wouldn't have brought federal troops in here. I don't think you should be bringing federal troops in here, but you should be taking care of this and stopping people from damaging our stuff. And this has nothing to do with their cause. I don't know what their cause is. I think it's just to cause problems. And it's probably a bunch of people that are taking over what was a true protest. And now it's just become night after night of riot after riot. And it's terrible. I think. My daughter is 16 and she will not go back to school and wear a mask all day. Also, she is anti-vax. Okay, Heather, I don't know what that means, but anti-vaccine. God, I'm sorry, you guys, I went way too far. There's a ton of people on here. Mastering a workout. This just never ends. Impossible to keep a gym functioning with all these mandates. We are hoping to move it to all outdoor workouts. It rains. What do you think, Rick? What would it have a lot of traction? Our members are not happy about needing a mask to work out. I know. I do know some gyms, not mine, but I know some gyms in the area that are saying, fuck it. They're not going to do it. But, I'm just saying, yeah, Jacob, that's not a bad idea. Like where I go, we have a huge outdoor area, but you can't put the weights out there. Amen versus not being silenced, Rick. Yeah, and it's not it's just, I don't want them to be silenced either. I at all. I want them to have their say, but you have to let us have our say too. And we get to disagree with you. If we don't think what you're doing is correct, we get to say something. We get to be kind and polite. And I'm not going to be an asshole like some of you were being to me, but I'm going to say my piece. Because you know what? You may not be right. And I have to assume that I may not be right either. I know that goes against the grain here. It is your fault if you were a bully. Oh, that's true. It is your fault. If you're bullying people, then you know exactly what you're doing. But you know what? What I find a lot is with bullies is it's the I want to say the cheap way to fight. It's like the pansy way. It's like without coming in and really having a conversation, you just go and then you leave it hanging there. And it's like, and the problem with it is for most people, bullying works. It shuts them up. I was shut up for too many years and I am not shutting up. And I don't think I'm conflicted with this mask thing. Does a governor order Trump actual laws? Is it a Class C felony to wear a mask with a concealed weapon? Jeff, you're just causing problems. Sandy, I love the wall of moms and the dads with leaf blowers. I don't know what that is. You'll have to explain it to me. So glad to hear what you're saying, Rick. I think the same. There's a lot of people that are thinking the same. There are. There, Sarah, that's perfect. Vandalism is cowardice. It really is. It's just a lack of, it's a lack of class. I mean, come on, go down. You should for 55 nights, I'd be more impressed if you were really sticking to a message that I can buy into. And I thought this started as like Black Lives Matter. I thought it was about Black lives in our community, that we should be paying attention and honoring people and giving them access to everything the rest of us have, and finding ways that white people like me and you, or some of you, could understand better. But when you turn this into an all-out free fall for all and destroy the community, I hear nothing. It's a dead roar. And that's not what you want. And it's not what I want. I want to understand. These days, it seems like people think that you should not have an opinion unless it's theirs. Oh, yeah, no, that's the same thing with diversity and tolerance. We are a very tolerant community as long as you agree with us. That's horseshit. I mean, it's just total horseshit. And it's been like that in Eugene for so many years. As soon as you disagree, and it used to be that it was subtle. Now it's just out and out blasting you. Jeff Moorhead, you are wrong on your info. I'm conflicted the mask thing. Thank you, Heather. Black unity. That's when I had Isaiah and, oh God, it's been so long, the two of them on the show, and I was really impressed with them. Clea, thank God. God, Heather, you like my best friend today. You're keeping this 61-year-old man on task. And Clea was here, and they were talking about that it was originally called Black Lives Matter 2. And I think they should have left it that way because it would have got rid of all this. Yeah, but white matter too, and Asian lives matter too. Everybody lives matters, but what the focus is that we have to pay. Black lives have been we've treated Black people horribly in this country, and they matter too. And that has a message that's more inclusive. If I was the PR guy behind that campaign, that was what I'd do. That's the message that's more inclusive of everybody. And it doesn't allow white people to try to steal it by saying, well, what about us? Because it's already in the message. And then they're the ones who told me that it was Black lives, Black unity. And I really like that here. Is that Black? Because there's a lot of political stuff behind Black Lives Matters. And so I can't, when somebody says, do you support Black Lives Matters? Not as an organization, because there's too much unknown for me. Do I support Black lives that matter? Yes, I do. Do I support Black unity? Yes. Do I support equal rights? Yes. All that. But the organization itself, I have too many questions. And if I got those questions answered, I may be able to change that. Vandalism is wrong for any reason. I 100% agree. The riots are just to cover something bigger the deep state is trying to get away with. Explain that more. I'd like to know more what you're talking about. Recall Kate Brown. Well, there is a recall petition out there, and lots of people are signing it. So if that's something you want to do, and you think her leadership hasn't been good, that's something you can do. There's one that's at Shopko. I heard this somewhere on Shopko by Costco from 2 to 6 on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. Never have liked people telling me how I should be, or else I've made it this far. I'll continue my own path without impacting no one else. Tanya, I 100% agree. My wife and I were sitting in here today, had a bunch of meetings on the phone and everything. And Kathy was just going, God, Rick, honey, it's so hard. I said, it is, because you feel like you're being squelched, but I won't be squelched. And I'll put this up there. Jeff says that. That not turn, Jeff. I want the riots to stop. I think a lot of Oregon wants the riots to stop. I've seen pages where people are posting why they should continue and what it really is. And I understand what they're saying, but I do not agree, and I don't get it. What kind of scares me about it, I don't live in Eugene, but I love this town. When they came and did that to Eugene, I was just like, what? That first Friday riot, I was so ashamed. Like, oh my God, you can't do that in our town. You can't do that to this place. This is our town. If they did, I actually live in Springfield. If they came in downtown Springfield and tried to do that, I would be out there screaming to get away, because you're not going to destroy the place I live. And to me, a culture that allows people to do that says something about them, and to me, and that's my opinion. But it says if you're allowing people to and Portland feels like mine because it is the biggest city in Oregon, and I'm from Hillsboro, so I'm from that area, and that's my town. And when you go in and trash that, you're trashing my place, and I don't take that lightly. And for the governor and the mayor of Portland to allow what has happened to happen, I think it's disgusting. And I want to know why. And I just see excuses. How about a Jesus movement on the streets? Yeah. I think Jesus is staying away right now too. Due to lockdown, we need to get them back in school. I have heard that from more than you, Betty. God, you guys, hold on. I go forward, and then I lose. God, there's so many good comments on here. Okay, so where did I lose you? It's like, oh, there we go. God, you guys are way ahead of me. Protecting the staff, personnel, teachers in the school in the right direction. I don't think it's right to see my teacher friends in Texas being worried and having to get wills, life policies, and health insurance. Okay. My daughters are depressed. Drain the swamp. She's 16. In my state, it is not in Oregon. Oregonians are tolerant as long as you agree with everything they believe. Disagree with them and not so much. Okay, but Debbie, can I just clarify that? That's not Oregonians. That's certain people. You go into the hinterlands and the rural areas of Oregon, that's not how they are. They're right up front with you. They'll tell you exactly what you think. Maybe the urban Oregon, she's worried about a forced vaccine. Heather, there's not going to be a forced vaccine because nobody has to do anything like that. They can't force you to do a vaccine. The Great Division during the Civil War was not just about slavery, as some of the movements today are not what they seem. There was a great division among family and friends then, and if you don't get what it is all about soon, the same thing may happen. All right, Kathy, I get part of your point. I'd be a little more direct if you want to. Wow, well said on we are all going to pay for the damages out of control. Well, we will. It's federal buildings. What about the business people down there in downtown Portland? It's like a ghost town down there. People that I know who've been down there. So what is that doing to them? Did they matter? Does anybody give a shit about them? How come they don't matter? How come they're not part of the conversation? I talked to this doctor the other day, an expert. He was on the show. And one of the things he said is, how come more of these leaders aren't having business people and others involved in the task force? And like with our task force here in Oregon, it was medical professionals and scientists. What about economists? I mean, I don't want to be governor, so I'm not saying if I was governor, but if I was in charge of this thing, wouldn't you bring all different kinds of people and say, we need to put together a program that's going to try to keep the economy going, keep people safe, do this, but get everybody together so you put to something cohesive. You don't she just stacked it with people in the medical community. That is off the top, that didn't make sense to me when I was watching that. Rick, you should go to downtown Portland and see if it's a very small or that is impacted by the bad actors. The protesters are peaceful and they are masked. I had a guy down there who was shooting some video down there. He said it was crazy. So, if somebody's destroying it and they need to stop it, I'm not saying that but to call any of that a peaceful protest is just horseshit. Because they're destroying things. Now, maybe there's some people that want to be peaceful, but they need to separate themselves or come up with a different plan because you're destroying downtown Portland, and you're getting the rap for it. So you might want to separate yourself. I sure wouldn't be doing that. It's a mix of different subgroups. Some people just want to destroy, and that's the truth. Everyone should just say, forget it. I think we might be getting there. Just as perfectly legal to wear a mask and carry concealed here in Oregon. It's not a felony. If no gyms listened, if no restaurant closed at 10, what could she do? It'd have to be a group effort, wouldn't it? My gym had already done an outdoor setup, brought out weights. It was very popular. Rick, yeah, that's a great idea. I'm going to suggest that to my gym. I wonder if they could do that. Just put the weight room in the back. We could rise up, Betty. You guys are heretics. I'm in Pennsylvania. Yes, people just need to quit being dicks. Andy, I like the way that you hold back and don't just say what you're thinking. I'm teasing you. I love that. No, I'm not making fun of you. I've convinced our kids who won't return to school. I've felt this since the beginning. But what everybody should do? Why don't you homeschool or create? Yeah, I mean. Or did she create some rule that you can't do that? She's just throwing darts at a wall, hoping one of her theories sticks at this point. DB, that's what I feel about this whole thing. It's like, let's put the mask on. And now the more we wear them, then the more they have evidence that it does work. But the guy I had on the other day says, if it doesn't stop the flu, how's it going to stop something that's twice as contagious? So, I mean, that's science, okay? Everybody keeps saying, follow the science. I am. Do what you're telling me to do. With these high temperatures, I worry about some people walking around outside. I think it is good. It'll kill the corona. Oh, I really like your idea of moving the gym outside. those are good points. I've been guilty of it myself. Jeremy, we've been through this thing that I would love to know what you're talking about, because the conversation goes so fast. I'm sorry, but I want to know more about what you think. I'd love to know what people are thinking. We have a boot camp at Cal Young this Saturday on the turf for F45 training. We bring all our equipment. There are some members can do resistance training. Really hope it works, and we can do it daily. So Jacob, would you let people know? I mean, I do work for my gym, but everybody's not going to go to my gym. So if you have that on there, let people know, because I think that's kind of a cool idea. The school situation makes me sick. My husband and I work full time, and I have no clue what to do. That is what I worry about. Look at all the parents who can't go back to work. So how are you going to get the economy going? Didn't see the new limits on rioters. 10, any limit on permissible monetary damages? Kevin, I love you. I don't even know who you are, but that is awesome. I love blunt truth, then you'll love me. Our government is doing everything to try to sabotage our president and his success. You start wondering. I'll tell you, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on. If you don't need these days, you're bullies. I think they are being bullies and thinking they are helping society. I don't know if people these days know they are bullies. Rob, I would totally agree with you on that. I think they see it. I think what happens with all of us is we see our cause as the only cause and our way as the only way. And so then anybody that disagrees with that becomes an enemy. And so if your goal is if you've been ridiculed and held back and not allowed to fully participate in life, like a lot of Black people in our country have, then you're going to see it and just push through. And what you're doing may be bullying, but you don't see it like that. And I agree with you. I think there are some people, I know there are, they're on my pages. They're just fucking bullies. And they don't give a shit. They just want to win, and they just want to make you look like an asshole. And all that does is make them look like an asshole. Signed a recall sheet today. Amen. Time to, there we go. Getting everybody all excited here. All the moms and dads. Seriously, they are nationally known. Okay. Most, if not all, the vandals aren't Black. I bet you're right. Yeah, but isn't that, yeah, anyway, I'll just leave it like that. Because, no, I better not say anything. Okay, here we go. Everyone has their own opinion. You can't get mad at people expressing what they think. But when they try to bully you into thinking their way, that isn't right. Put your big boy and girl pants on. Okay. Yeah. I think there's a shortage in Oregon of big girl and big boy pants. That's the problem. Dana has figured out the problem. Oregon doesn't have enough big boy pants and big girl pants. So that's what. And I'm not making fun of you, Dana. I think that's hilarious. We're divided because of all that we should have, we can't do, we must do all these things to keep safe. Numbers are skewed. We don't know who to trust. So let those who fear this pandemic wear their masks, and those who don't shouldn't have to. I know. Or as the doctor, the expert the other night suggested, is what you should be doing is putting money into targeting those who are the most vulnerable. And most of the deaths are coming from elderly people. And I think half of those or something are nursing homes and retirement homes. So his suggestion is you treat them like a hospital. So you go in and you spend money, but all this money we're spending on all this other shit. Go in there and spend the money to make these places super safe, super hospital-like. And because they're the ones who are in the most danger, then the rest of us distance ourselves from people and wash our hands. He said, the masks aren't doing anything. People are waking up, though. I see my closest friend realize the truth. Well, I think so too, Heather. And I think that's what scares people, is all of a sudden people are starting to go, you know what? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And starting to go, something isn't adding up here. And how many of the new cases are asymptomatic? That matters. And nobody can tell you. Health department can't tell you. Nobody can tell you. They have to know. I just like to know why she can't provide proof that tourists is spreading the virus. Yeah, yeah, and rioters aren't. The expert we talked to the other day said they are. There's no way that that doesn't even make any sense. That is not logical. And what, the coronavirus only attacks people if you're supporting certain things and not other things. How about suck my dick? I'm not wearing. Oh God, thank you. I never treated anyone of color horribly. I am considering tutoring and wondering how to make that happen if I go to their home or meet at the library. You know what, Carol? What I would do, figure it out and don't say a word. There's going to be a lot of that. There's a great line in the Bible that says, only a fool tells all he knows. So in some of these cases, you go do some things that are creative and you shut your mouth. How mean of those white people making African Americans look bad and their cause go to hell, jerks. Well, you know, how mean of our governor and a mayor of Portland for not shutting down the people who are making the Black Lives Matter movement look bad, because they don't want to look bad. Because if they shut it down, then all these people out there who are going, this is the way we get change in our country, then they're going to look like they're coming down on them. And so they're just as guilty of making the Black Lives Matter movement look bad too. Shopko parking lot 4 to 6. Are you sure it's 4 to 6? I thought it was 2 to 6, but I may be wrong. Signed it yesterday. How do you feel about Galen Rupp? I don't know what's going. I don't follow much, so I don't know. I know who he is. I don't know the story, so you can explain it to me. They aren't even black. All my black friends are so pissed at these idiots. Really, Austin, if you would get me, I would love to talk to some of them. I mean it. I'll do a live just like this, and I want to talk to them. And that's who needs to be having a say in this. The very people who are being impacted by it. Would you get a hold of me? I'm going to put Rick at rickdancer.com. It's coming. But would you get a hold of me? I gave you my information. Can completely change the mood of a story. Tweaks the word. Yeah, the news is just completely irresponsible. You know what I did at my gym? So because my wrist was broken, I had to work more on this machine than I don't normally do, but all the TVs are right there and I'm never in that room very much. And so here it was just, and I come out of there depressed and I was like, God, this is so horrible. And then no, you can say, Dick, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. And so I just went and turned the TV off and in front of me, and it hasn't got turned on. That was like 3 days ago. No one's turned it back on. Both sides are operating out of fear. Nothing good comes when there's fear. I don't do well with being bossed around. This goes way too far. Belinda, I agree. And I agree with fear. Nobody makes good choices from fear. And yet I have people who are dear friends and I love to death who will come on here and argue that fear is a good thing and it motivates people and stuff. But everything I'm reading says it does not do anything. Make Oregon again. That's a cool site. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler says he'll be in front of the Justice Center tonight. What? Whining? Yep. Yeah, that's our leaders allowing this to happen. They're responsible for this. They're the leaders of our state. And Ted and Governor Brown, you're responsible for what went on down there, in my opinion. The Eugene riots were ridiculous. It seems like a side has been chosen. I do not. So, in terms of, I don't know what you mean, but that's okay. Nobody wants a riot. It's never about correcting wrongs or helping a single black person. It's been around a long time before George Floyd died. It's all about funding and civil disturbance. Okay, Bill. That's an outbreak. All right, you guys, it is almost 5:30. I need to go. It has been a total pleasure talking to you. And again, just from my standpoint, kind of how I want to kind of close this off, and it is my show, so I guess I can do what I want. And I have to fight this daily. Don't become them. I don't want to be a bully. But also nobody's going to come on here and tell me because I'm saying my opinion and this is what it is. I'm not calling them stupid or anything like that. I'm not doing that. I'm not ragging on them. Now, governor and the mayor, it is your fault because you could have controlled this. You should have done something a lot longer. And now I find it interesting. I don't think we should have federal troops in here either, but I find it interesting now that they're the problem. Maybe if we would have done something about this 55 days ago, we wouldn't be in this mess. But it's so easy in our culture to blame somebody else. We're always pointing fingers at somebody else. So I don't want to be that guy. So I want to go back to the story of the couple that pissed me off because I thought they were really rude and turned their back on me with a mask on. I want to be the guy, like my friend Julie told me, might be the possibility that they were trying to protect me. So I want to be looking at people that way so I can be more positive about it. But I'm not going to shut up, and I'm not going to not do my research, and I'm not going to listen to the narrative that they want me to hear because I don't buy it. And I will do my part, just like I hope all of you do. But I am not. Hold on. Stacy Randall, being someone who loves control, this all today is making me lose my shit. I find myself falling into fits of tears. I'll tell you what, Stacy, I completely understand that. This is not the way we do business in the United States of America. This is not how it happens, and something's wrong. And we need to stand strong. And I think we all kind of have to figure out how much are we willing to take, and when does that level get crossed? And that's going to be different for each one of us. And then you kind of, like my son was telling me one day, my youngest son said, I'm not going to be untrue to who I am. And I said, no, I don't want you to be. So you go do what you have to do and understand there are consequences. And we can't do what our leadership is doing and pointing the finger at other people. You make the choice. It's your choice and you chose it. Don't blame other people. And you fight how you have to fight. So we'll find a way. This too can pass. I think the more we're positive with each other and the people around us, and we keep listening, and we keep the name calling to a low roar. I do it too. You get frustrated. There's other things I would say, but you guys are on here. There's a bunch of other people that aren't talking, but they're watching, and they will be watching. And so you got to be kind of careful because we don't want to I don't know. You still got to love people. That's what I miss the most. Is some of my super radical friends who don't like me right now, and I'm not overly thrilled with them either, and it makes me sad. I miss the human interaction with all kinds of people. And when you stand up against things that you don't think are right, there's a consequence. So we're paying that consequence. My prayer is that this will be over, and then all those people and me, that we can come back together and be friends again, and put this behind us. What I hate the most about the mask is it covers up who we really are. And in America, we are so afraid to do the right thing, and instead we cover things up. And that's what I feel like this is. There's an answer out there, but this isn't it. And the scientific expert the other night told us this thing's it's gonna do what it's gonna do, this virus. And we should protect the most vulnerable. And if you are one of them, then you quarantine yourself, and the rest of us should keep the economy going while you're protecting yourself. We're protecting you and the economy and the families who are looking for money right now, who are out of work. We're that's To me, that's being in this together. When the governor and other people say we're in this together, no, we're not. You're running the show, and you're dragging me through shit. If you want us to be in this together, let us protect the most vulnerable, quarantine those that need to be quarantined, and then the rest of us keep this damn economy going and stop these rioters so that the real protesters can get their message out. That would be in this together. But right now, no. You're just dragging me through your shit, and I'm not going to be dragged through your shit. Period. All right. Have a great night. Love you. I really do. That's a weird thing to say.